Alright, how's it going, y'all? It's been a while since I've made one of these videos, but I'm excited for it because there's just so much. First things first though, take some house cleaning to do. If you haven't watched the second episode of Loki, I don't know why you clicked on this video. It literally says up here on in the title. It literally says it right here. See? Probably. It's like spoilers for episode 2 of Loki. So, like, not sure why you clicked on it, but whatever. Maybe you don't care about spoilers, you know? That's a thing. I'm not about to explain what happened in the episode. I'm just going to explain the fact that we got revealed to the fact that the culprit, this other Loki variant, is. Before I get too far ahead of myself, just a reminder if you are not wanting to have spoilers, just leave now. Watch the episode, come back and watch after. Okay. So back to what I was saying. That we've now learned that the Loki variant that they've been searching for this whole time isn't another Loki. It's the Enchantress. Now this opens up the two possibilities because in the entire Marvel universe, there have been two versions of Enchantress, both of them coming from Earth 616. You have the original one, who is Amora, who is from Asgard, like Loki. Also known by Freya. Amora, Freya. Same person. Right? So it could be Amora, which would be interesting, but would make kind of sense, right? But, but, what? So that's Amora right here. See, Amora. This is Amora, the Enchantress, the first original Enchantress. But she's part of the Secret Wars. She's fought Thor. She fought alongside Loki multiple times. So it could be Amora. And they could be taking the Amora character because it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're allowed to do whatever they want with it. So, right? Because, like, for example, that's a good example of you can do whatever you want with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Here's Mobius, right? Mobius and Mobius, right? This is the guy from the show, right? He's the dude who's like, we gotta find this variant, whatever. But of course, he is also based off of a character from the Marvel Universe, who is also known as Mobius and Mobius. But what do we know about Mobius? Not much. We know that he was part of the junior management, did a bunch of stuff, got him promoted to senior management, that he presided over She-Hulk's trial from when she tampered with the timeline trying to save a displaced Hawkeye from his death. It's one thing, though, coming from this that I personally would thoroughly love to see is if they make some reference. I don't even care. Like, introduce the character, please. That would be amazing. But even just a reference to Kang the Conqueror would be great. I would be so happy for that. Kang's great. But this is just my example for this the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We don't know much about this dude when he was actually working in the TVA. But yet here we are with this guy. He's doing TVA during his senior management stuff. So, but back to Amora. So it could be Amora. Maybe. The Enchantress, she had abilities similar to Loki. She had strength, speed, stamina, Uh, dense tissue, sure. Uh, right. That's the whole all split sorcery stuff, though. So the interesting one is, where is it? Um, so I'm not seeing it on here, so maybe we just never saw it in. But oh, spell casting, right? So she's got the she in the show she uses the like the enchanting, which that's what triggered this whole thought process of it might be the enchantress before. Like they haven't said who she is in the show. People who aren't Marvel fans who aren't like hardcore comic fans aren't gonna think of the enchantress. I honestly probably wouldn't have thought of the enchantress if it wasn't for the fact that in the show in the one of the lines Loki says is enchantment. Talking about the magic she's using. So then I was like, who hold up. We getting the enchantress. Then they showed her. And I was like, oh, it might be. But the thing is, the one that we saw in the show today, there's semblance to this. In the show, she's got shorter hair, but once again, like that's a minor thing. Who knows what that could mean? But here is my reasoning for thinking that it's actually the second one, Sylvie Lushton, because Sylvie, um, so Sylvie's a future version from after the Asgardians moved to Earth, right? So, granted, it's not the same as in the comics, because in the comics they moved Asgard to Oklahoma, and obviously Asgard is not in Oklahoma, because there ain't no coast in Oklahoma. Uh, but so Sylvie Lushton was just this chick from Broxton, right? Normal person. First things you can see is shorter hair. Second thing is she got her powers. Unlike Amora had her powers already. She was born with the powers. Sylvie here got her power. Wow, that was weird. Sylvie here got her powers bestowed to her by Loki. So, like that has so many connotations there. Which the reason I'm thinking it's Sylvie is because her powers are bestowed to her from Loki, which would mean that based on the spells she used whenever she's messing with time, it would feel like it's Loki's powers. So that's why the time variant, the TVA, thought it was Loki because it feels like Loki. But actually, it's Sylvie who is a future Loki. But it puts it all into trickiness. uh what's it called? It's tricky for the Marvel universe, right? Because Loki dies, right? Loki dies before they come to Earth in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, um, sorry, my brain just froze for a second. So it's weird, you know. It could be Amora. It could be Sylvie. Maybe in the Marvel Cinematic version before, instead of Loki bestowing his powers onto Sylvie, his powers sort of get transferred to her. I want it to be Sylvie, but it's also kind of pointing towards Amora because of the fact that, like I said, technically Loki dies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and so like there's not really a way for him to bestow powers onto Sylvie. That's mentioned when she reveals her face in the episode. Loki looks stunned like he's seen her before. So it's possible it's Amora, which would be an interesting twist. So like if it's that it's interesting, right? Like hmm we could get some Axis crossover if it's Amora. Uh it's interesting, you know. She essentially her and Sylvie pretty much have similar um powers, right? Uh I also really want it to be Sylvie because then that could introduce the idea of the Young Avengers, which would be cool. Which also loops right back around to the Kang the Con. Can we just get Kang the Conqueror, please? That would be great. But it's tricky. And we know it's the Enchantress. It has to be. If it's not the Enchantress, I'm gonna be stunned. But like I just don't know. I really don't. It's either Sylvie, Luston, or Amora. That's what I know so far. I'm intrigued to see what they do with the rest. Uh the whole time variant agency and everything to do with null time zone and he who remains, the timekeepers, Kang the Conqueror. It's just this line, this one show has introduced like a million and a half different branches, right? Because if it is Amora, then we can probably get some Axis nonsense and some like if they finally are able to do X-Men stuff with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, whenever that happens, we could get Axis nonsense with Magneto and then the Enchantress. Like, it's just so much. There's so much. And I don't know. Have we seen the Enchantress in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Hmm. Uh, no, she hasn't been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's theories about where she might pop up, but she has popped up now. So, okay. Um, But yeah. We finally see her though. That's great. That's one thing I'm happy about is we finally got the Enchantress in. So many times she could have been brought into the story, but this was the one they chose, which I'm excited for. Honestly, I'm so excited. It's it's gonna be great, and I have Wednesdays off, so I get to stay up and watch it early. Um, that's the end of the video. That's all I had to talk about, really. Um, I might do more of these videos because I have fun with these types of videos. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, y'all, and see y'all in the next one. Peace.